Hi, I'm Chloe Scialo, and this is going to be a pitch on my documentary called Mentally Around. The logline of my documentary is that everyone keeps saying we need to make the topic of mental health an important conversation, yet it's still this taboo thing to talk about. But with this project, it's going to open more and more doors to that lead to more and more conversations, which will ultimately lead to more solutions to help those who are struggling. This is going to allow people who feel like they can only feel their feelings and emotions in silence understand that they are not alone. This documentary will explain personal stories, get rid of that stigma, and allow people to find the help that they really need. The genre of this film is personal health, education, all of the above. It's going to teach people what to do when they see someone struggling, those who are struggling, what they can do to help them, where they can find the help, and just have more insight on mental health. It's going to be a short 30-minute documentary that focuses primarily on anxiety, depression, and PTSD, as these are the three most common mental health disorders. I'll be interviewing people who struggle with the disorders, people from their lives, as well as getting information from professionals. The performance of this documentary will consist of interviews, B-roll, and narration to help tell people who struggle that they are simply just not alone, and that they are allowed to feel what they need to feel, they are allowed to ask for help, and that they shouldn't be ashamed of any of that. And for the interviews, I will be asking the people I am talking to wear different color shirts that represent those three different disorders, essentially being like the Inside Out movie where each emotion has a dedicated color to them. That's what I'm going to have displayed as a different visual aspect for this documentary. Now, this is extremely important because, as you can see by the graph, anxiety, depression, and PTSD are very serious. Yes, anxiety and depression is more common than PTSD within the Gen Z age range, but it's still there. But as you can see also by the graph, roughly 60% of people aged 18 to 28 suffer most from anxiety and depression. And then 13 to 17, it is on the lower side. And then for both age groups, PTSD is on the lowest spectrum, but it is still very common and very there. The team for this documentary will consist of me and then 3 people I will be interviewing. This film I will be directing it, recording it, editing, doing the narrations, all of the above. I do have my own camera that I'll be using to make the film. And then for this film, I will be interviewing my mother, Christy Scialo, to get her input on how she has learned more and more about mental health and the difference of all of the disorders and how she's been able to learn different techniques to help those who are struggling. I will be also interviewing my best friend, Jocelyn Akala, who struggles from her own mental health, and get her input on what she does to help control hers and how she handles it. I will also be getting input from my brother, Blake Scialo, who will just tell how he's learned as well how to help people who are struggling and what he does and what he feels is best to get the point across that the ones who are struggling are, at the end of the day, not alone. I will also be getting information from my personal therapist, as I do struggle with my own mental health, but she is not pictured. I will also be just doing basic research from other medical professionals to get their insight. The budget behind this, it roughly adds to about $7,900, but for some extra cushion and wiggle room in case someone drops out or camera breaks, X, Y, and Z, I have asked for a $9,000 budget. But the interviewees, it would be $500 to $100 per person. Camera, it's already owned and it's roughly about $200. Research $500, planning $500, lighting also $500, music $700, and then editing $5,000, give or take. But again, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to pitch this to you, and I hope we are able to work soon.